Welcome to Speak Now or Forever Hold Your Peace. Apologies for not being able to have engaged with you earlier. I was a little bit unwell, so there has been a bit of a delay in being able to post and speak to you guys. Today's topic is called You May Kiss the Bride. It's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek title considering what we're going to be talking about. Today's topic is centered around an MP in Ghana who is pushing for young boys to marry their girlfriends if they make them pregnant. Somehow I'm assuming from what I've read that it's to make them more responsible for the children that they produce. Now here is the problem. This is 2015. We need to take on more responsibility for a situation where we would find so many teenage girls getting pregnant to the point where we would even think of pushing or lobbying for something as ridiculous as forced marriage onto boys and girls. They are children. And if we want to empower women and empower girls who will, eventually grow into women, then we need to really sit down and think very calmly and sensibly about the measures that we put in place to be able to bring our women folk in Ghana to a place where we are independent, financially secure, educated, free to make choices about our futures. I was very concerned because I felt, hold on, we're not saying let's push for better sex education. We're not saying let's push for better maintenance laws, because I'm not aware what the law is surrounding child maintenance in Ghana. I don't know. It's something I'd obviously have to go and investigate. But if we don't have those things in place, wouldn't it be far better to have the law on the side of our young girls and women generally, women who find themselves divorced, and have measures in place legally that will allow men or force men who would not voluntarily take up their positions as fathers that need to provide for their children. Why would we not put something in place legally to make sure that these children are looked after? Why are we not having mentoring programs for our young girls so that they don't fall pregnant, as well as having the necessary sex education? Why are we not having programs in place so that girls that do fall pregnant can still carry on their education? Would that not be far more sensible? Would that not be far more empowering and enlightening for our young girls? Why would we say, oh, you're pregnant, therefore, whether you want to or not, we're going to make it the law that you are forced to marry the person that impregnates you? Okay, so how is this law going to be enforced? So you have a young boy. It happens. Young boys, you've started having sex, so you just think that, that's what you do 24/7. So you get two girls pregnant. What is it? 2 for the price of 1. Buy one, get one free. How would it work? What happens if they don't want to get married to each other? Since when did marriage become the band-aid for issues that are social that we need to deal with as the adults in this equation? That message, as far as I'm aware, was printed on International Women's Day. It caused me great concern because we are living in times where there are so many things. I mean, in the media, in Ghana, in England, all over the place, we're hearing of all sorts of horror stories around how our women and our young people and children are being treated. I don't understand how you can speak about forcing marriage upon children because they didn't have enough sex education to prevent pregnancy, but in the same breath, this MP is saying we need to push for stronger laws so that people who are or perpetrators of domestic violence face more severe punishment. It doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to me because by forcing this ridiculous law, you are making these girls potential victims of domestic violence. How does it empower a young girl to gain back her life by saying that, right, you've gotten pregnant, you have to get married. That is not the be-all and end-all of life. Really, we need to get away from this thing that marriage is what defines a woman's whole status and whole purpose in life, because it does not. I am married and I have got children. It doesn't make me any more of a woman than I would have been had I been single at the age of 43 with no kids. And we really do need to stop brainwashing our young girls to believe that that is all they need to aspire to. We need to show our girls and our young men that there are alternatives. Have a passion and a vision, and have something that you want to be when you grow up. And let's take on the responsibility to show that, okay, this is, these are the things that you need to consider when you do decide to go into a sexual relationship. Because we can't stop our young people from having sex. What we can do, though, is give them enough information so that they can make informed decisions. So all I would like to say essentially is, before we decide to start to lobby for anything to do with women and children, can we please, for the love of God, stop for 5 minutes and put sensible and safe arguments across? Let's not just get all fired up as, okay, well, let's do this, let's make them get... No. This is what used to happen many years ago, and what would take place is girls would be banished, they would be sent away, they'd have their children in secret, and they would be forced to have their children adopted. We do not need to go back to those times. It damages people, it damages families. What we need is sensible discussion around issues that our youth and our young people are facing today. Put our heads together as sensible adults, look at our laws, what is governing certain issues that we are facing, how do we enforce certain laws, and how do we put in measures in place that will support our young people and allow them to get to where they need to be. So in a nutshell, I would say, rather than force our children to get married, let's push for mentoring programs for our girls, better sex education for all, in schools and in churches, and yes, I said churches. We need to look at education for girls that have gotten pregnant, have systems in place where girls can continue their education, and laws around maintenance that will benefit really the child, because in these situations the children is what is ultimately important, not the fact that you put a ring on it after clearly everybody can see that a mistake has been made. So I would say that, please, Ghana, let's just sit down, have a cool head and have good discussions about our children. Thank you very much.